Hello everyone, I am Mudit Jain. I am ex-IPS, ex-IRS. In this short video, we will discuss Pune Porsche case from ethical perspective without going into legalities and nitty-gritties of the court judgments and all. First things first, जो स्क्रीन पे आपको दिख रहा है, आत्मानि प्रतिकूलानि परेशान न समझ रहे means do not do unto others which you cannot be done by, and this is a principle prescribed in Bhagavad Gita, which very well explains the definition of ethics. You should do that action which you think that when others do to you, you would not crib, you won't cry. In this case, the action taken by the family of the juvenile, the action of the juvenile or the action of the police, action of other actors like the doctors comes into question with respect to this very definition, wherein they all acted in some or other self-interest, maybe driven by greed, maybe driven by love or affection or whatever. First point is Atmani Pratikulani Paresham Na Samajhe, which very well explains you that the action of n number of stakeholders involved in this case is unethical from various perspectives. Now, looking at the manifestation of lack of ethics from point of view of individual, from point of view of organizations and society in this. As we are all aware, the incident led to death of two people. Two innocents died because of the speeding car of that juvenile. The various individuals involved in the case committed some or other crime. For example, it is very well on record with respect to the news on 24th of May 2024 that the Pune Police Commissioner on record admitted that there was dereliction of duty on part of couple of officers who reported late the incident to the police control room, and there were issues related to delay in collection of blood samples as well. So this not only reflects lack of ethics on part of the individuals, so those two police officers, but also on part of the organization as whole. It questions the ethicality, it questions the sense of moral duty of the organization, not only with respect to police but also from point of view of doctors. It is on record change the blood samples of that boy with sample of perhaps his mother. This is with respect to individual and organization that it led to crimes, and it led to lack of trust, erosion of trust of society and public at large with respect to these organizations. Also, with respect to society, what it does is it creates long-term consequences on part of society. It perpetuates the system of inequalities which are already deep rooted in our society, and clearly reflects that justice may or may not be equally served to all, and maybe it depends on your class, it depends on your status. Next, what is a good society? So I have talked about lack of ethics on part of individual, organizations and society in this case. Now let me define what is a good society, not as per me but as per Bible. Bible clearly says that a good society is one where no one falls through the cracks of the society, where the voices of even the marginalized are heard, and where people do not take actions in their own self-interest. So three main points here are that no one falls through the cracks of society, the voices of marginalized are heard, and self-interested actions nahi hote. All these 3 points, if you now know the Pune Porsche case, you know that points have been clearly violated in this. Now coming to some specific perspectives, first starting with Bible and Roman Catholic traditions, and then we'll move on to the Indian tradition. I'll just discuss the case from ethical perspective. The Bible also says that these two things are very important, that is social justice and sanctity of life. The sanctity of life of those two innocent people who died in this accident hasn't been respected. They and their families have not been served justice. So both justice and sanctity of life as per Bible ethics comes under question in this. As per Roman ethics, it says that you should respect human dignity because there is inherent worth by being nature of human, and you have right to life. So these three perspectives are violated in case of those two individuals and their families, as their human dignity, their right to life and their inherent worth comes under grave question in this case. Now coming on to some of the Indian religions and thinkers and perspectives which can explain you the solutions that the society as a whole or the individuals should have taken in this case. So as per Gita, we very well know this thing, निष्काम कर्म, कि कर्म करो फल की चिंता मत करो, ये सबने सुना है. अब इस केस में if you apply this principle, you will know that the officers under consideration or the doctors or even the family members themselves should have taken a selfless and a desireless action approach rather than be driven by their own vested interest. Coming on to the second principle, that is from Ramayana. While Ramayana teaches us to love our family, to respect our family, it also teaches us that attachment is root cause of suffering. Love and attachment are two different things. If I am loving someone, I would set them free. If I am attached to someone, I'll bind them. In this case, you can very well understand the true different love and attachment on parts of the parents of the boy. If they had loved him truly, they would have taken a certain different course of action. In my view, in my considered opinion, this is not love, this is mere attachment, where they try to cover up the misdoings of their boy. Rig Ved. So Rig Ved gives us concept of Rita. Rita is cosmic order, which gives us concept of Dharma. Dharma, as per Rig Ved, is not mere religious dharma. It is about righteousness and moral duty. So what is the moral duty of various stakeholders in the case? Be it parents, be it the boy, be it the witness or their family driver or the police or the doctors or the larger administration. The moral duty for each stakeholder is one, that is serving the justice those who were dead. They failed miserably in following and serving their moral duty. Righteousness of action from point of view whether the action was ethical or not, it is easily understandable that various stakeholders on various stages took unethical decisions in this case. Coming on to Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement, many of you would be thinking, how can we relate Bhakti movement in this topic? Bhakti movement basically called for not only ending the discriminations and inequalities, it also raised concerns with respect to reawakening of moral consciousness. So as a society, as an individual, as a parent, today the need of the hour is to reawaken that moral consciousness so that we can reflect our inherent self, morals and values in our thoughts and actions. Coming on to Islam, which believes in self-purification, self-improvement and self-reflection. So if I am reflecting on my own vices, if I am reflecting on my own actions, then only I can purify myself, then only I can regulate myself. Once I reflect and purify my own vices, I will be able to improve myself. So these three things are interlinked, and this case can be very well understood from these three perspectives, that if the juvenile or the parents or the police officers had reflected upon their own thought systems and belief systems, maybe their action would have been different. Sikhism not only teaches us about the virtues of Dan, Daya, Santosh, etc. They also teach us about living a purposeful life, living a virtuous life and an honest living. It believes in honest earning through honest labor, and if this is followed, then it can become a very true means to end corruption in such organization. Because if I practice this in real life, I will be believing in honest living, truthful living and purposeful life. And once that happens, if this is applied as solution in this case, then I am sure there would have been a different course of action. Now some other religions and perspectives. For example, you would have heard about Three Ratna principle of Jainism: right, faith, knowledge and conduct. Now if the faith system, if the inner value system of the various stakeholders involved in this case was genuine, was moral, they would have been aware about the do's and don'ts, the laws and regulations, that is the right knowledge, and then that would have been truly reflected in their conduct. But as we know, that is not the case. Buddhism talks about kushal and akushal kam or karma. Kushal karma says these are the actions, these are the meritorious actions which are driven by generosity, by love, by honesty. And akushal karma says these are the actions which are driven by self-interest, fear, punishment, etc. So now if you understand what is kushal and akushal karma, you would know how to apply this thing in this particular case. Doctrine of karma. Karma theory क्या कहती है? As you sow, so you reap. So today there are certain actions that are the causes. Tomorrow there will be certain effects of those causes. This is a cause and effect theory. The parents of the boy took certain actions just after the incident took place. That became the cause, and today they are suffering behind the bars. That is the effect. So cause and effect. There are no mutual conciliations. If there is a wrong cause, there will be a wrong effect. If there is a good cause, there will be a good effect. But wrong cause and wrong effect, good cause and good effect won't cancel each other. There is no mutual conciliation. You have to pay for what you have sown. Knower doer split. So Swami Dayanand Saraswati ji talks about knower doer split, wherein the knower or the person, the inner conscience, knows that his or her action is wrong, but the doer still does the action. So the parents here, they know their action is wrong, they are the knower, but then also they do the wrong action, that is the doer. It leads to a split within the personality. That is why it is called knower doer split. So this split, what it causes is, it causes discomfort, it causes guilt and remorse, and there is a split in personality, and you are not able to live a peaceful life driven by inner peace. So any action that involves violation of your core principles, your antaratma, that will lead to knower doer split. And I am sure a number of stakeholders in this case at some point of time must have witnessed this split in themselves. Kautilya is known for his Arth Shastra. He is known for the principles that he has given for a good leader. But he is also known for one more perspective, that is, if you mix personal interactions in professional lives, that lead to corruption. And this is what happened in this case, that the personal interactions may be driven by attachment, maybe somewhere driven by vested interest, that were mixed with the professional lives of the policemen or the doctors or the other stakeholders, and that led to corruption driven by a grave nexus. And lastly, another solution that we can see for this case from ethical perspective is by Vivekanand ji, wherein he proposes that value education is true education, wherein you not only are focusing on the mind of the students, you are focusing on their heart and soul as well. So right now, the education system of the country is basically focusing on teaching the heads, not the hearts. So if that happens, wherein you integrate value education in syllabus in true sense, and you apply it, you teach it, maybe you will be able to teach and catch students at a young age. So this is all about ethical perspective of Pune Porsche case from various points of theories, thinkers and tradition. Thank you.